Go magazine sent two guys named Erns and Roux out on a 4-day trip from Cape Town. The plan was to travel from the Berg River mouth to Olifants River mouth, roughly 140 kilometers, in search of the real West Coast, not the West Coast light that stops at Langebaan. First stop on the R27, Velddrif, where the Berg River meets the Atlantic Ocean. It's 150 kilometers north of Cape Town International Airport.
I came here to this bird hide. If you spend a bit of time there, you can actually see some wonderful flamingos, and there's also pelican. And Nols pointed me towards a place called Bokomlaan.
Nols Teert is not a man of many words. He is a fisherman, and one of the many so-called characters that our two travelers spent a good deal of time talking to in order to find out more about life and industry here. At night, the lights on the canneries and factories light up the harbour like lights on a felled Christmas tree. In the bar at the Live Lake Hotel, Erns has his fortune told by a freelance medium who insists on holding his hand. In the morning, the two travellers decide to walk it off and head north, past Dwarskersbos to Roux, a nature reserve 25 kilometers from Velddrif. Then onto Elands Bay's rock paintings and a brief encounter with man's greatest competitor when it comes to eating crayfish, seals. The Sishen train is the backbone of the South African ore export. It is also a recurring theme on the trip thus far, as this coastal route road meanders along the railway tracks. Then onto Steenbokfontein, a farm with a remarkable feature, a labyrinth. Labyrinths can be used for meditation and even in therapy for sufferers of attention deficit disorder. The next day, Lambert's Bay had a surprise. The 6,500 gannets that form the 100-year-old colony on Bird Island in the small harbour were hanging back a little this year. Normally they head towards Mozambique in these winter months. Meanwhile, Ernst was developing a persistent and rather nasty cough, and Roux had developed a time-consuming interest in documenting roadkill, so they called a time-out at Doring Bay, which has a boutique wine cellar and tasting operation right on the harbour pier. At Strandfontein, these bodyboarders braved the winter waters, but come summer, this town thoroughly deserves the title of Jewel of the West Coast. A 10-minute drive north takes you here. Papendorp takes laid back to the next level, but for Erns and Roux, this settlement, with its view of the salt pans, estuary and Olifants River mouth, was the highlight in a most memorable trip.
This is the end of our destination. We're still here at the banks of the mighty Elephant River. It's very serene. It's one of the most beautiful places I've ever been to, without doubt the most beautiful river mouth, and it's fantastic to end our trip here.
Read more about this trip in the September issue of Weg and Go magazine, or to view the exact trip, download the Go Travel app. For more information, visit gotravelapp.com.